guys, so today I wanted to give you some quick and nutritious healthy breakfast ideas. If you guys need something quick, if you're always in a rush in the mornings, if you gotta go to school or gotta go to work, or maybe you have kids you have to take care of, a lot of people tend to grab the Pop-Tart or grab the sugary Lucky Charms or Cocoa Puffs and eat those instead of something that's actually good for you. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I eat, but mainly just some really good healthy breakfast ideas to really keep you guys on track throughout the day. They're easy and they're quick to make, and some you can even make the night before, but they should help you live a healthier lifestyle so that when you get up, you have something nutritious to grab for instead of something that's going to kind of knock you off balance for the entire day. Now, when I was little, I would spend a lot of time at my grandma's house, and she would always have nuts there. She would have almonds or walnuts or hazelnuts or anything. So for me, it's kind of a tradition to eat nuts in the morning for breakfast. I know that that's not something that's usual for a lot of people, but it is something I would recommend. Nuts, yes, they're high in calories, but they are full of super healthy fats and protein. They're very low in carbs and hardly have any sugars. And that's great because that will keep you full all the way until lunchtime. You can still snack in between, but you're not going to have those terrible cravings. And for me, since it was like a childhood favorite, that's what I always did. What happens is that when we sleep for like 8 to 10 hours a night, our body isn't eating. We're basically fasting. That's why it's called breakfast. Break fast. You're breaking the fast of sleeping. And a lot of people wake up and they want to eat something super sugary. They want the sugary cereal with milk, or they want the sugary Cocoa Puffs or whatever, or like the sugary Pop-Tart. And the reason why is because when we're sleeping, our blood sugar kind of dips. It's low because we're not eating for a third of our day that we're asleep. So when we wake up, our body says, we want food, and sugar is the fastest way for our body to recognize that. Unfortunately, it's not the healthiest. If you eat sugar in the morning, your blood sugar is going to be going like this the entire day. You're really, really low. You wake up in the morning, it's really low. You need to have sugar. Oh, you eat a high sugary breakfast, and then it drops again. And then before lunch, you're hungry again, so you eat more sugar. Eat something unhealthy and then it drops again, and then lunch, and you're just doing that the entire day. And that's unhealthy because it produces a lot of insulin. Every single time your blood sugar is high up here, body has to pump out insulin to help bring it back down. And that can cause diabetes and weight gain because fat is stored from sugar and insulin. So you do have to be careful about that. But some of the best foods are the ones that are full of proteins and full of healthy fats and rich in the proper kind of carbohydrates and not as much with sugars. Now, for me, I do have to have a little bit of sugar for breakfast. And this isn't because I'm just hungry in the morning. It's because of a medical condition. If I wake up and if I don't eat, I will either black out or I will faint. What that means is that my blood sugar has gotten so low that if I don't eat, if I don't bring that blood sugar up right away, I will black out and fall over and faint. So when I wake up, I usually have a piece of fruit right next to my bed so that I can get out of bed. Sometimes it's a plum or some cherries or strawberries, but it's something really sugary to help get me up. If you black out or if you're faintish in the morning, this might be a good idea for you, but if you generally don't have that issue, it's generally best to avoid sugars in the morning. So for me, nuts and fruits that are high in sugars are a good option, but what about most people? Let's talk about foods that do contain the right kinds of carbohydrates or that are full of protein and good fats. First thing is one of my favorites, and it's peanut butter on toast. And it's not just white bread, it's not even whole grain bread, because a lot of times the whole grain bread that they sell at the store is a lie. It's like full of bad stuff for you. I get Ezekiel bread, which is like stone ground. It's beans and whole wheats, and that's it. Also at Whole Foods, they have some local breads. There's like Vital bread, and then they have some that's like 9 grain stone ground, which is also really good. But bottom line, you want a truly whole grain slice of bread and put some organic peanut butter on there. The whole grain is a good source of slow releasing carbohydrates. It's still carbohydrates, and those will eventually turn into sugar, but because they are so whole grain, your body's gonna have to work longer to break those down, so it keeps you fuller longer, so you eat less throughout the day. Same with peanut butter. Peanut butter is basically peanuts, and they are full of these amazingly healthy omega-3 fatty acids. And a lot of people think, oh my God, fat's gonna make me fat, peanut butter has fat. It's not exactly working like that. Sugar is more prone to make you fat than fat is because sugar reacts differently in the body. Fat, yes, it has calories in it, but fat keeps you full. Also, it's essential for healthy brain function. So omega-3s are great for your hair, your skin, and your body in the morning, and also that peanut butter has protein. That protein is going to keep you full along with the bread all throughout the morning into lunch. Another really healthy switch up to that is using eggs and putting eggs on toast. That is delicious. I love it. And eggs, okay, eggs are like a superfood. People don't understand how amazingly nutritious eggs are for you. I see a lot of people avoiding eggs saying, oh my goodness, they're so full of cholesterol, and yes, they are, but scientists have proven that it's a healthy kind of cholesterol that lowers the bad cholesterol, because we have two different kinds of cholesterol in our body, HDL and LDL, I believe. It's something like that, but we have two different kinds. One is healthy and one is bad, and eggs actually raise and boost up that good cholesterol. Plus, eggs have no carbohydrates, they have no sugars, and they are full of protein, and they're fairly low in fat. So eggs are a superfood, and we should all be eating them. And let's talk about some egg dishes too. One of my favorites is another one of these that my grandma used to make me on weekends, and she called it Princess Diana eggs. And what it was is she would take fresh rosemary from the garden, she would go out and pick a very ripe tomato, she would go out and get some spinach, and then she would get a clove of garlic and crush it up. And she had most of these in her garden, so it was really nice that she could just bring them in. You cook those in a little bit of olive oil, and then you mix them together, and then you scramble them up with eggs. And the rosemary and the garlic gives it the most amazing flavor if you like rosemary and garlic, and then the tomatoes and the spinach is a great source of healthy vegetables and carbohydrates. Mixed with the egg that has the protein and the good fats and no sugars, it is like a super powerhouse breakfast, and it is amazing. Another great way to incorporate vegetables into your breakfast is through an omelet. And again, omelets have eggs. Some people make omelets with a ton of cheese and a ton of meat, and a little bit of cheese and a little bit of meat is okay, but you really want to focus on the vegetables. Get some tomatoes, get some spinach, get some mushrooms and some celery and some zucchinis, and chop those up. You know, you can saute them in a little bit of olive oil so they're slightly soft, and then whip them up with some eggs and some salt and some pepper. And then you have the eggs, which are amazing because of the great amounts of protein and no sugar. And on top of that, you're getting a whole serving of vegetables, if not 2 to 3 servings of vegetables. You could put a little bit of cheese on there because cheese does have a good amount of protein. It has no sugars. But cheese has saturated fat, which is not as good as the fat in olive oil. So if you can cut out the cheese, that's good. Also, some people put ham in their omelets. Chicken or turkey would definitely be a leaner, better choice, but ham is still an option if it's something you love. Another great breakfast idea is one that I stole from McDonald's, and this is super bad, but if you're the kind of person who is used to eating a little bit more unhealthy and maybe you don't want to just eat a veggie omelet, this maybe is something for you. It's not the best, but it's a good, healthy alternative. And it is the Egg McMuffin. It is like a breakfast sandwich, and I make these at home because first off, I know what's going into them, and they're healthier for me that way. I start off with a whole grain English muffin, and again, be careful of English muffins because some of them are not truly whole grain, but start out with a truly whole grain English muffin and stick it in the toaster. Then what I do, I get Canadian bacon. Bacon is definitely my favorite, but Canadian bacon is generally a little bit healthier, a little bit less salt, a little bit leaner with less nitrates in it. So if I'm not eating the regular bacon, I'll eat the Canadian bacon. I'll take a couple slices of that, and then I will take a couple slices of cheese. Usually I like extra sharp cheddar. I recommend going for cheeses that have a lot of flavor as opposed to cheeses with not as much flavor, because one slice of extra sharp cheddar will give you just as much flavor, if not more flavor, than 3 slices of regular cheddar. So you need less of the cheese to get the flavor. And then what I'll do is I'll get an egg, and you can just whip this egg up in a cup, and it'll kind of cook in a disc if you cook it properly. So I get the Canadian bacon all warmed up, I get the egg all ready. Once the English muffins come out of the toaster, I put them down. You put a slice of Canadian bacon, you put a slice of the cheese, you can put your egg on, then another slice of cheese and another slice of warm bacon. You put the top back on and you pop it in the microwave for just about 30 seconds, and the cheese gets all melty, and then you dig in. And of course, that has bacon and cheese, and it's not as healthy as peanut butter on toast with an omelet. But for those of you who really love that stuff, and for me who really loves that stuff, it's definitely a much healthier option than cereal or than, something sugary like a Pop-Tart. And a lot of people think cereal is so healthy. Let me tell you, a lot of cereal is not. Even the Special K cereal. Oh my gosh. We're going to have to do another secret diet busters because Special K cereal everyone thinks is so healthy. It is completely nutritionally voided. It's basically sugar. And then on top of that, people are putting milk on it. Now, yes, milk has protein, but milk is not the healthiest for you. Yes, it has calcium, but there are other ways of getting calcium. Milk has lactose, which is basically sugar. So there you go again, eating sugar for breakfast. And we're gonna have to talk about this in Diet Busters. But if I drink milk, I drink whole milk, not skim milk. And whole milk is actually better for losing weight than skim milk. Because yes, skim milk has less fat and less calories, but it has more sugars. It makes you hungrier faster. Whole milk, yes, it has more calories, but you can drink a smaller amount and feel fuller. So if I could drink this much whole milk and feel full all day, why would I have 3 glasses of skim milk and still be hungry? Overall, you're drinking more if you're drinking the skim milk. So that's just, we're going to talk about that in the future, but that's why I avoid milk for breakfast. And I also avoid orange juice for breakfast. A lot of people eat bacon and eggs. Let me tell you, bacon and eggs are a great breakfast idea. Yes, bacon is a bit unhealthy. Yes, it has a bit of fat. Try Canadian bacon and eat that with eggs. Sunny side up or scrambled. It's a super powerhouse breakfast that's healthy. Problem is people usually have orange juice with that. Instead of having orange juice, eat the actual orange. The orange juice, especially if it's pulp free, all that is fruit sugars, basically. If you sit there and actually eat the orange, you're gonna get that fiber. You're gonna get that fiber that the orange has that your body needs to kind of clean everything out and get everything moving. The last tip that I have is fruit and yogurt, and this is great if it's one of those days where you're craving something sweet. A lot of people go for granola. Please don't. Granola can be very unhealthy. A lot of times granola is just sugar. There are some granolas, especially if you make them yourself, then they can be healthy, but a lot of times granolas are not the answer. Even yogurt. Yogurt is basically dairy, and if it's not full fat, it's basically sugar. Yes, yogurt has more protein, but you have to be careful with it. So when you're eating yogurt with your fruit, understand that it is not the lowest of sugars. Something with eggs is probably less sugars than that, but it's still delicious. What I love to do, I like Fage yogurt or Phage or whatever. It's Greek and it's really creamy. I love it. Don't get the ones where you mix in the fruit though, because all that fruit is at the bottom. You like that layer. First off, it's gross, and second off, it's only sugar and high fructose corn syrup. Instead, make your own if you really want to. Or I just love to add peaches. I love to add blueberries. I love to add strawberries. And it's just delicious and it's healthy. So those are my tips for healthy breakfasts on the go. All of these you can make fairly quickly in under 10 minutes. And some of them you can even make the night before. Like saute up some onions and some tomatoes and some celery and some mushrooms. Put it in a little cup, and next morning just whip up some eggs and put it on, and it'll be done in 3 minutes. Yogurt, you seriously take yogurt, take fruit, put together, put in mouth. Not that hard. So there are no more excuses for you not to eat healthy in the morning. Tell me if you guys want another secret Diet Busters. Hi, phone. Phone says, words free nudged you, and that I have a new email. Oh boy, I like emails. Anyways, I like emails and I like you guys too. So I look forward to talking to you all. I hope this helped you. If you have other really healthy breakfast ideas, be sure to share them or post a video response. But this video is already way too freaking long. I apologize because I tried to make it short, but just didn't happen. But I love you guys and I look forward to talking to you all soon. Love you guys. Bye.